Hi, my name's Noshad, some guys know me as Shaban, Spurs Video Podcast. Wow. It's a lot of things happening. Drogba, our arch nemesis for the last 8 years, is now leaving. He's going to China, and I can now say that I'm a huge fan of the guy. Exceptional footballer. I mean, yeah, he goes down like a big girl's blouse, but when a player's been a thorn in your side, you kind of respect him begrudgingly as an enemy for his achievements. His footballing skills are incredible. And he's a lot. For people that don't know, the Cote d'Ivoire had some terrible problems, and he does a lot to help them. So, and you think he was a footballer, he's got a ton of money, but you know what? Yeah, he's got a ton of money. He could be whoring it or whatever. He chooses to help. So, to talk about the Luka Modric situation. Now this is something I'm not too sure of, but if memory serves, he signed a 5-year contract, extended his contract in 2010. So he's basically contracted to us for another 3 more years, and basically until he's 29 years old. And so I'm thinking, if we can't get in the Champions League by then, fuck him, he can go. Until then, you're a Spurs player. And one of the things that I think people don't forget about Luka Modric is that it's his ability to keep the ball moving in motion. Because he'll give and go. His ability of the give and go, to find another pass and keep that forward momentum is incredible. Unlike, a Huddleston, who's got a much stronger passing range, he hasn't got the mobility or the dynamism to do it. Say in comparison to a Traore, and therefore he's more what I call like the big, like if he doesn't really a quarterback. Good example, he has to throw the big long passes, long pass there kind of thing. And he more places the ball, rather than anything else. And I think that lack of zip is what's going to cost him now. I'm hoping that obviously with Parker and everyone else, he's going to try and up his game a little bit. Do a lot more, explosive cardio. Not enough to say, on Traore levels, but just give him that extra. He wants to get the turn circle, but he doesn't need it. He's a big enough, strong enough player. If you intelligently move, you don't need to have a turning circle. You work within your ability. I mean, is he going to be rampaging forward? God no, but he can pass and dictate the game, Pirlo style. Pirlo is not exactly the quickest player, he's not. But he sees the game very, very well. I'd like to see a bit more daring passing. I think that combined with Sandra's ability, defensively running as well as offensively running with and without the ball, I think makes a good partnership. And if we can get a third player to play as our attacking right midfielder, I've gone with Goetze, and I still do go with that. If we were going to sign Hazard, obviously that was predicated on us in the Champions League. But let's face it, even if we got in the Champions League, we wouldn't have got him. Man City, Man United are going to offer him a ton of money. He doesn't even know where the fuck he wants to go. I think Goetze is still the man to go for. I think he's 19. He won't count towards the what can I call it, the squad things. And if let's face it, if Liverpool can spend 20 million on Jordan fucking Anderson, I think obviously they can do. We can't, but if we're going to spend money, that's the money we should be spending money on. And we spent for the 16 million on fucking Bentley. For an extra 4 or 5 million, I think we could easily get Goetze. I think easily, and we could easily double, triple his wages. I guess we can congrats to Montpellier. They actually won the league title ahead of Paris Saint-Germain. Are they going to retain their title? Probably not, because all their best players will be bought up. And I just think, but they've shown that you don't need to have money as long as you invest in your players. I'd like to see how we go forward. Obviously the Europa League. But we saw Carroll and Livermore. I'd like to see how those two do as part of an access, and I'd like to see us play the same formation, not just in the Premier League, but also in the Europa League, and actually basically use Europa League as a blooding tool, and the League Cup as a blooding tool. So we play that same formation, very much like Ajax do, and Barcelona. They play the same formation throughout. And I think if we don't play 4-2-3-1, that way, if we see how you play in a 4-2-3-1. We might not win the game. That's not the point. The point is, can the players adapt to this formation? Can they make the formation work? We'll see. I think Livermore and Carroll, I think, can make a good form. Could be, a very budget Europa League version of, or a League Cup version anyway, at least of say Sandro and Luka Modric. And if we've got 3 players ahead of them, see how if we hope we can sign Hoyler and a few other players, get a player up front. You've got some players like Norton's come back, Kolka, Dawes. I'm not sure why. I don't want to really play Danny Rose. I'd rather play Townsend. because I don't think Danny Rose has got it. To be honest, I don't see him having that. And I like being Andrew Santos, a really nice guy. He may have to refashion himself as a rampaging left back. I think that's the way forward really for him, especially now. Anyway, if he wants to get games. But yeah, you guys know my list. You can see on my YouTube posts. But yeah, I still think Hudson coming back's a good thing. And there's a whole bunch of players: JJ, Pina, Nico, Charlie. Who else? Bentley. That's 5 players for JJ, Nico, Pina, Bentley, JJ. So JJ, Nico, Pina. That's 3. Yep. Bentley. That's 4. I'm trying to think who else have we got that we wouldn't play. So those 4. And I'm saying that you tell them that we can't get at least 25 million for these 4 players on Gio dos Santos. That's 5. You're telling me between these 5 players we can't average 25 to 30 million? That'll be enough to sign, say, a Götze or something. At least a Götze and maybe Hoylett, because after you have to pay a fee for because he's not technically on a Bosman. So you sign 5 players to get rid of 2 to bring in 2, but let's face it, at least we're going to play those 2 players, and then when we don't have, we bring on from the kids. I think that's the way we have to do it. It's like Punch and Judy. That's the way to do it. And I think and the same thing goes with JD. I think if we get rid of JD, get rid of Saha, I think what was it? Not Saha. If we get rid of Charlie, if we get rid of Seb, what about Seb actually? Charlie and Seb. That in itself should hopefully raise at least 10 mil, and then place it for Vertonghen. So then the only money you really have to pay out for is say an Adebayor and a Damiao. And I don't know, if we get JD, that should hopefully pay for at least half of that, or if not a third, and go from there. But players will be sold. I do see a massive reshuffle of the Spurs pack, especially up front. I just don't see. I think I look at JD and say, he's not the player that we need him to be. So anyway, as always, looking forward to hearing from you guys. Shout outs go to Triple KL, Major Hank, and Super Spurs. And like I said, I know if you think Goetz is a mad signer, but you know what? And I say this again, I was actually saying that we should try and sign Van der Vaart. I didn't know anything about them signing Ozil, but I thought, you know what? If we can sign Joe Cole or Van der Vaart, I'd rather go Van der Vaart. I think he's a player that's going to be on the periphery, and I think he's a player we could sign, and luckily we did. And those who don't believe me, check out my Spurs forum. I did mention Van der Vaart numerous times before we signed him, so that's the kind of player we should sign. Never thought we would get him, so who knows? And let's face it, we signed Klinsmann, Popescu, Dimitrescu. We signed Modric when everybody wanted him. I think we need to get in there early and do all this. Anyway, it's always a great pleasure speaking to you, and as always, come on, you Spurs.